What up?
Mr. Thanksgiving.
What's up, B.Dot?
Thank you, man. Thank you for participating this week, man. I know you're busy counting all that money,
It's all good. It's
but
okay.
thank you for talking to us little people today.
Cut it out. You know you're the legend in the game.
Nah, man, like I was just telling the people, you're the legend, one of the greatest mixtape DJs of all time. I said this before. I think if you had a Mount Rushmore of DJs, it would probably
Hmm
be like Kid Capri, um, DJ Clue,
hmm
yourself, and the fourth one, I don't know. I think I might have to go Khaled
For sure. Absolutely.
for what he's done. But Drum, like I was saying, man, besides your accolades, you're also responsible for this guy, Jack Harlow.
hmm
I mean, congratulations. I don't know what
Appreciate
you
that.
did.
Good looking. Yeah. It's exciting.
Absolutely. How does it feel like? I mean, you've done this before, but how does it feel doing it again? Like, is it like, are you learning from your previous mistakes and things that you've done in the past? Like,
Um, I definitely learned from my last experience. My last experience being with Lil Uzi. And that
right,
was like that. That was like our first artist that we signed that was under us that you know went from unknown to a superstar. I've been a part of a lot of careers, but to have it like signed to
absolutely.
our label and for us to do it and cultivate it, that was a great experience. And it was like, it was like a rocket ship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that literally was like the first artist we signed. And, you know, from the point we put Love Is Rage out, Uzi just took off. So, we're kind of spoiled in a way, you know what I'm saying? But you know, like I feel like even with Jack, based upon how things may have played out in the public with Uzi,
right.
again, I felt like, I had to prove myself all over again. You know what I'm saying? Which
Mm,
which I've done before and I'm not opposed to it, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like people we didn't get what I could say the respect of, like, oh, those guys are hit makers or those guys are star makers or, they have great ears to find talent and what have you. I feel like a lot of people in a sense, some believed and some might have felt like, oh, they might have got lucky. And when I say they, I mean myself, Cannon and Lake, you know what I mean?
right.
So with Jack's success, it's like, it feels like another I told y'all so, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we do. Like, stop
Right.
counting me out, you know what I mean? But I enjoy that, you know what I mean? I've went through that at various stages of my career, and it's just, you got to keep coming out on top. Like this the name of the game. It's a competitive sport, you know what I'm saying? So with Jack's success and the energy of what's popping, it's like
Yeah.
it's love, it's dope. But even still, like, we don't get comfortable. Like, now Jack has a big hit record, but we got to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Last
I
thing we
feels like
want is,
you kind of like being an underdog a little bit, Drums. Is that fair
I
to say?
do, I do like being the underdog. I mean, I feel like I'm always in that position, so I embrace it and I wear it well, and let's go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. But through this whole journey, you've been in the game for over 20 years, developing artists, this whole Gangsta Grills brand. And I know throughout the years you've collected things that kind of documented your journey. And this is artifacts. So I know you have some things you want to showcase to us and to the
Yeah,
fans.
yeah. I got a couple things for you, V. That I
Uh-oh.
had to come.
I'm
I
excited,
had
man.
I had to come correct. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit. I'm doing artifacts with V. Dot. I gotta find some shit.
Some things
What's
you
better?
remember. You remember your first car, you remember your first kiss. Do you remember your first drama mixtape? Like that's a thing. I think I think mine might have been Trap or Die.
That was your first.
I think that might have been one of the
So so
dedications. I'm not sure.
no, I bet you're wrong. You didn't you
Why?
didn't have you didn't have the Ti Down with the King.
I did not have Ti down with
Oh
the king.
shit, I'm shocked.
I am too.
Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
shocked.
keep it. I'm gonna keep it real. I remember because you gotta understand that was what 2003,
It was
2004
we
maybe.
dropped down with the King 2004. I had already did one tape with Jeezy. Me and him did Streets is Watching, and
Okay.
then I dropped, I think, down with the, yeah, because Streets is Watching actually came out the day that Tip this little flip at Birthday Bash.
Oh
The Streets is
wow.
Watching came out that day. They gave him out a Birthday Bash, and then we went and did Down with the King, and then that was my biggest tape at the time until Trap or Die came next.
Wow. See, at the
Yeah.
time I was G Unit, Dipset out,
hmm
so things that was coming from the south, I was like, I'm gonna get to it. But then when Jeezy's tape drop, that just kind of like changed everything. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it
this
definitely
DJ
changed
drama
everything.
guy, I'm here for him. I'm here with him.
That's love. Um, well, let me go back. I'm gonna take you back to
Take you back, Dron.
this is like in my early days, and I don't really at the time I didn't really keep a lot of like autographs and signatures, but I used to be on South Street, right?
Oh wow.
And I used to work at this store on South Street in Philly called Inferno. And I saw this guy, he was by himself. He was literally by himself. I'm like, yo, you Jay-Z, right? And he was like, yeah. And he just like literally signed an autograph for me. So the year, you can see the year is 95.
Oh shit.
It's got what's that, the London emblem and then the Payday emblem. So this is before Def Jam. And
Wow.
then and then he says, DJ Drama, keep it right. That's when everybody was saying keep it real. You see the classic Lexus.
Wow.
And I just
UPS.
for a long time, like this was just had been sitting like, and I don't really like get autographs and stuff like that, but for some reason, some odd reason, I just always wound up keeping it along with a lot of my stuff. And then I came back to it maybe 10 years later and I was like, oh shit, it's a fucking Hove
So that's
autograph.
1995. Jay-Z wasn't
90
even like a
Jay-Z
thing at that time.
at all. I don't He probably had what was the record called?
I can get with that.
No, it might have been after that. What was the one where he was where they were on the boats? I just went blank all of a sudden. Um,
What's the meaning of life? In my lifetime.
in my lifetime, he probably had in my lifetime out. Yep, and that's it.
Wow.
But nah, he wasn't. Reasonable Doubt came out '96, so this is '95. He wasn't. He was literally on South Street by himself. Nobody was paying attention.
Wow. Have you
So
told Jay that you have that? Does he remember it in any conversations?
he doesn't remember that he signed it. I've told him the tidbit like, man, I got this. I kept the autograph from you from like '95. So. It's like
Wow.
95. That's a nostalgic Hove autograph. I want to see how many people can go back that far with their Hove autographs. It's one thing to have like a 98 or a '01, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying, or '04, but yeah, '05.
Have you? I'm drawing a blank myself. Have you and Jay ever worked together?
Um, the only way that I would say that we've worked together is, I was used to be T.I.'s DJ, and
Right.
when the Best of Both Worlds tour happened, and then um, R. Kelly left the tour, he invited it became the Jay-Z and Friends tour. So
Mm.
I came on the tour with T.I. and we did a whole run for like maybe a month. So
Oh
I
wow.
literally I literally got to watch, history being made every night, for that time. So that was special for me because, he was my favorite artist, and watching him and DMX and Mary just, night after night, I was just taking it all in, and that was probably my biggest tour at the time, you know what I'm saying? And Tip was
Wow.
just when Tip had Bring 'Em Out, so he was really, becoming like a national star.
Yeah, that's autograph is crazy. 1995. That's amazing.
95, yeah.
Well, what was it? That last question about Jay Z. Which record was it? I mean, was it just the In My Lifetime record, or was it certain things about Jay that attracted to you during that period?
I mean, honestly, I was a record buyer then, so I used to buy everything, you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Every song that came out, I would literally cop. So, I thought Hove was cool, but I didn't know or wasn't prepared for what he was about to become at the time. Like, he was a dope artist and I definitely liked the song, but that's why it's so crazy that I wound up keeping it just to,
right,
hold on to it. Like, who I definitely didn't know he was going to turn into, the GOAT that he is at the
man.
time.
I don't even think Jay knew that was going to happen. But here we are, 20 some
Right.
years later. What else you got, Dron?
um, got some classics here. Let's go. The actual CD.
I'm about to push it back just a little bit. Might be too short.
Bam.
Ah, dedication.
Dedication one.
Dedication one.
I should have went in a little order. Yeah. So this is the actual CD, the original. Shout out to Canon. Let
Man,
me find it with the track listing.
talk about the dedication one. Like, there's always the debate between one and two. Which one do you prefer?
Two,
I guess two. Okay.
without question.
Yeah.
Two, I feel like to me, two is the perfect mixtape. Like the
Mm,
perfect mixtape. Like I I don't I listen to it, I don't hear no flaws. Like I feel like I have really found my formula. You know, I had came into my own um with my personality on the mixtapes, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And like just doing creative stuff, like, I don't know if it had ever been done before at the time, but I would like sneak a record and then be like, nah, we get to that later and come back to it and do another record. And just the way like I would write out the scripts for the artists and everything. And, you know, Wayne was just like he was in his zone. And it's crazy because we had most of the tape done actually, and
Mm.
then I was in Miami for I'm talking about Dedication 2. I was in Miami
Okay.
for Khaled's video, the Holler at Me video, and
Mhm.
Wayne was in the studio. He was finishing up Dedication, and the Canon record is actually was originally made for Trick Daddy.
Really?
Cannon was in Miami working with Trick Daddy at Circle House, and that's why he used the "Come on Ride This Train" sample because it was like it was like kind of like some bass music, so he was trying to flip it for Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy
Wow.
passed on the record. Um, then Bohagan got the record. Remember
Oh, Hagen.
Bohagan?
Wow.
Shout out to Orlando McGee. Bohagan got a hold of the record, and then from Bohagan I think it went to Busta, and we were working on a Busta mixtape, and
Wow.
Busta had put it on his mixtape. So I had the beat at the time. So but the Busta version had already been out, and then we so when I was in Miami, I just was like, "Yo, Tune, I got this this one record that Cannon did. You might want to fuck with it." Next day, he turned in Cannon, and it became
Wow.
the monster that it is. Yeah,
That is crazy. I didn't know it went through so many hands before it landed
yeah,
into Reezy's lap.
ain't that crazy?
That's
Uh,
insane.
I definitely think Dedication 2 is, like Dedication 2 is the highlight of the series for me.
Mm.
Dedication 1 is a classic. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And then I think Dedication 3 is special because that really was the real introduction to what Young Money was about to become. And
Mm.
it was crazy just to think. Yeah, I remember Nikki like really on my line, like, yo, don't finish the tape without me. I'm gonna turn in my record. Like I'm gonna turn in my record. Like Nikki individually turned in her record for the project. And I had been hearing early rumblings about Drake, but when I heard him on Dedication, I was like, oh, this that guy that I kept hearing about. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He spit on there like so yeah, so what Young Money had become, like he really showcased on Dedication 3. And then that tape came like after the raid. So it's like,
Oh,
you
right.
that was like a big tape at the time, you know what I'm saying, just for what we had already went through.
Wow. Shout out to Fran on the check-in. Always wanted to know the name Dedication. Who developed that? Was it your idea or was it
Hmm.
Wayne's?
It was mine. It was my
Why?
idea. I you know what? It just sounded dope. Like
Mm.
I had no idea like how the meaning would transpire because even before, like when me and Wayne first did Dedication 1, I was a fan and I was checking for the Squad Up tapes
Oh, Squad Up. Yeah.
because I used to use songs from those tapes for Gangsta Grills before when it was just a compilation.
Mm.
So but I don't really think I was hip to how lyrical he was becoming.
Yeah.
Like the Carter one had just came out, so the Carter one was out, then Dedication one came out. But because of Dedication, like really listening to that and listening to, his lyrical ability, it
Yep.
was like, yo, this guy's on some shit. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was really night and day because I remember when Wayne came out, I think it was on Fireman when he was like best rapper alive, best rapper
Yeah.
retired. People were like, Wayne, what are you talking about? And but
Hmm.
he's had switched up his whole style. And like the dedication mixtapes, I felt like that was like the training ground for him just to develop, where he would eventually go.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. I definitely think he was able to get his chops off and, you know, kill every beat and what have you. But yeah, I just came up with the name like I was just like, yo, we're gonna call it Dedication, and it's crazy because, one, he's so dedicated to the art,
Yep.
and to, his craft. And then, two, it took on a whole new meaning after '05 when Katrina hit, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when we did Dedication 2, that gave it that gave it a newfound meaning. So, it's one of them things when it just come together, it just come together right. And then the artwork is so phenomenal. Like
Yeah, it's
one of the
classic.
things I love about that too is just to see other people emulate the dedication artwork. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's like, wow, that's special.
yeah. Can you hold that classic up one more time for the people just now tuning in?
It's a
That's that classic right
dedication.
there, man.
Hmm,
Yeah, if you ain't got that,
classic,
man, you had to be there.
classic. I got another one. This one is probably a little less known, but this is Gangsta Grill's 11.
Okay.
You see Killer Mike's on the cover, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Stat Quo, and Big Country.
Wow.
And then right here it says Generation Now. So we've actually been using that name since 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now
So
thinking about it, those people weren't really at their level at that time. Like they weren't
now they were the new guys. These
new
were all the
guys.
new guys.
Wow.
Yeah. They were all about to break. I mean, Killer Mike had just got signed. Thug and Paul were hot in Houston and making names for themselves. Stat Quo had just got his
Wow.
deal at Shady Aftermath, and Country was on Grand Hustle.
So Generation Now is always your brainchild, even back then.
It was always my brainchild even back then. The concept of Generation Now started from a mixtape, and in '04 I ran into Kanye when he was on tour with Kweli,
Mm.
and I wound up getting some drops from him for a mixtape. And then Joe Button was had just got signed to Def Jam, and he was running around Atlanta doing promo. They brought him to my crib to do some drops and everything.
Hmm.
So I had these two artists, Kanye West and Joe Button, who at the time didn't really fit into the Gangsta Grills brand. Me
Yeah.
and Cannon were doing a tape, and I was like, "Damn, we need a new name to signify these guys." And so I was like, "Let's call it Generation Now. These the new niggas." You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so the Generation Now is a mixtape. The first one was with Kanye and Joe Budden.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like a full circle moment.
Ain't it crazy? So the thing about this tape too is that there's a song on here at the very end of this tape that has T.I., and I took a acapella and I put it on a beat,
Mm.
and it was a Canon beat. And the beat that I chose at the time wound up turning into Young Jeezy's Go Crazy beat. So
Whoa.
basically, we were doing a party for Jeezy, and we were playing the shit off the mixtape, and Jeezy heard us play the Ti version of Go Crazy, and he asked Cannon about it, like, "Yo, what is that beat?" And he was like, "That's some shit off a mixtape." And he was like, "Yo, can I get that?" And Cannon was like, "Of course you can." And that's how Go Crazy turned into what it became. And then Jeezy did his version, and I remember Coach K calling us like, "Yo, I got something special for you. I got a gift for you." And then he played us the Jay-Z verse for,
Wow.
for the first time.
So wait, oh my gosh. So was the Ti version a thing? Because now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that particular that project. Was Ti's version like popular in Atlanta or?
No, not at all. It was just some mixtape shit that I did for Gangsta Girls. You
Mm.
probably didn't hear it nowhere else but Gangsta Girls. And it was literally an acapella of his from something else that I just took and put it on that beat.
Wow.
Hmm
How long until like did Jeezy return it to you?
Um, I think he sat on it for a minute because he was working on it after, I just showed Trap or Die, but he was working on Go Crazy after Trap or Die. So that was for the Thug Motivation album. I don't remember the time frame of how long it took.
Wow.
Mm.
That's crazy. And then now we have a classic record.
So I'm gonna hold this back up again. We could talk about this one.
That's the speaking of classics, Trap or
Yeah,
Die, one of the top 5 greatest mixtapes of all time. Game
look at the
changer.
back. Yeah. So Trap or Die, I'm gonna let you ask your questions, but I will go on record to say this is a fact. This is a fact. Trap or Die is the first mixtape to ever have a release date, January 25th, 2005.
Wow.
Like, and I say, like, people, that might sound weird, but before Trap or Die, you know, people just got the new mixtape when they got it. You
Hmm.
because you know, as a when you're a DJ and you're making mixtapes and you're distributing them, you know, you got to get it to the store. It might take
Yeah.
a couple of days for it to arrive, or you're ordering it offline or what have you, and you just get it when you get it. You know what I'm saying? So there was never like an actual release date. Like Trap or
Mm.
Die, we literally had a release date and it was a party and he dropped the DVD. Like it was just next level shit at the time.
I've heard stories about that party. Like it's almost like folklore. If you weren't
Since
there, you missed
it was,
out.
you definitely missed it. It was what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. It was insane. I mean, you know, BMF was in the streets. Jeezy was on fire. You know, niggas like 100 niggas with Jeezy shirts with bottles in their hands, just you know, to a point where regular women would turn into strippers because there was so much money on the floor. It was crazy.
Why was there a need for that, for the release date? Like, talk about the anticipation leading up to that project.
So we dropped the first tape we ever did together with Streets is Watching, me and Jeezy, and again that came out like summertime '04, and you know literally just his buzz was just growing and growing and growing day by day by day. And that tape just became like the culture in the South. Like, you know, we not only just in Atlanta, but just, you know, through the Chitlin circuit, you would go everywhere and it was
Mm.
like, you know, people were reciting it word from word off the mixtape. You know what I mean? It was a
Mm.
you know, just like Jeezy said, I think when he talked to Charlemagne, like, you know, it was the first time niggas would just actually have to play the mixtape with drops and me talking on it
Mm.
because that was the only place you could get the music. And he was getting so hot, and you know, then the industry started buzzing about Jeezy, and you know, like he became, you know, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. And when we at the time, you know, Vote or Die was a thing, so
Yeah.
he came to me and was like, "Yo, I want to call it Trap or Die." He started a whole campaign, and just the energy around the project and how it was going to drop, you know, and for Coach and Jeezy just to
Yeah.
really be on this shit and be like, "Yo, we're going to do a party the day the tape comes out. We're going," and it got treated like a real album, and it literally was that. Like, you know, there's nowhere to this day people hold it dear in their hearts, and you know what I'm saying. It was just a special time.
Being that it was treated like an album, did you guys move it like an album? Do you remember how many records or units it sold, or did you have like?
Shit. I would
It had to be a lot.
has to be at least half. At the time, probably it was 500,000. So who knows now? You know, with where it is from. You know, however it's out there on the streaming platforms or whatever. But that shit was everywhere. The mixtapes was everywhere. You know, I know myself. I probably moved a good, you know, 200, 250. I know. So
Oh my gosh,
it might have been more than 500,000 at the time. It was insane
man! And
with physicals.
even to this day, I had an argument with Jay. We were talking about intros, and he was talking about how like, Dynasty intro is one of the best. I'm like, yo, it's up there. And he feels like it's number one. I'm like, yo, Meek's up there, but you cannot forget about Jeezy's intro on that particular project.
Hmm.
Like, talk about like the impact of that song on Trap or Die. Like to this day, I'm sure you still play it.
I still get chills, yo. When I put it on and it comes on, I still to this day get chills. Like that was, you know, that was for me when like Jeezy kind of pushed me into like talking that shit on
Yeah.
tapes. You know what I'm saying? I had already, you know, like I feel like mixtape culture and style, you know, before I was doing what I was doing was like, you know, you would always be like, yo, shout to 125th, shout to, you know,
Hmm.
Harlem, you know, shout to this person, that person. So, you know, it was kind of a way to show love. And I
Yeah.
kind of turned my shit into like, you know, dialogues and speeches and everything.
Yep.
And like, I started to listen to the records and really playing off those. And, you know, just the way that the intro drops on Trap or Die and, you know, running back and, you know, you just hear Jeezy talk about it 250,000 mixtapes later, and you know
Hmm.
the beat is so it's so eerie. You know what I'm
It's
saying? Shout out to Shorty
hypnotizing.
Red. Yeah, it's so hypnotizing. So it catches you right at that moment, and you're in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's one of the greatest mixtapes of all time. John, you got a lot of top five classics on your hands, man.
I got some shit. I definitely got some shit when it comes to the tapes. Yeah. I you tell me. I always say Gangsta Grills is the most important mixtape series of all time.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not just saying it because you're on Artifacts with me now, but if you think about it, I mean, you had Clue had his run,
Right.
with the Illuminati's, Kid Capri, but I
Right.
don't think there's no other series besides Gangsta Grill that's
And
had
uh,
this impact.
and you can't leave out, G Unit
Of
Radio.
course, a G Unit Radio, of course. Shout out to Who Kid. Can't.
But I say that to say, Gangsta Grills is so important with all respect to all those you name because of how many artists came through Gangsta Grills and got broke and classic projects, whether Tip, Wayne,
Yep.
Jeezy, Yo Gotti, Boosie, Meek, you know what I mean, Fab with our tapes, Two Chains, like Pharrell, Gangsta Grills, like there's just Chris Brown, like literally In My Zone was part of his comeback, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying, through a Gangsta
Was.
Grill. So yeah, so with that, like as a series, and that's not even me saying I'm arguably the most important mixtape DJ of all time. I'll let somebody else say that.
I'll say
But
it. You are.
okay, but as far as mixtape series go, like Gangsta Grills is the dominant force.
And not to go off sidetrack, since we're talking about Gangsta Grills, I know you're working with Benny the Butcher on
Yeah,
Gangsta Grills coming up soon.
yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I've had a real strong rapport with the Griselda camp for the last couple years. We go back way deeper than that, you know what I'm saying? I got introduced to those guys like maybe '06, '07 through my homeboy Ron Ski.
Mm-hmm.
Gunn actually reminded me of it, but I've been loving their movement and
Yeah.
seeing what they've been doing, and I reached out a couple years ago. Um, and those guys, at the time, Gunn, he has a crib in Atlanta, so they came to Mean Streets and we chopped it up, and we started talking about some ideas and working together and everything, and through that, I started a rapport with Conway and Benny, and Benny's just like it's refreshing and nostalgic, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's familiar at this point, I feel like, or they should be if they're, watching me or you. And, he came to me with the idea, like, it's still, a lot of artists still have that dream of doing the Gangster Grills. And,
It
you
means
know,
something.
yeah, I mean, it's a stamp, and it definitely, we put it together, and it's a way for him to introduce, the camp and the family, and there's some shit on there. It's definitely tough. Like, and, it's definitely screw face music.
I'm excited. How hard
Yeah.
is it to turn people down for Gangsta Grills drama?
Um, how is it to turn people down? I
Because I'm
mean,
sure throughout the years, people have said, "Yo, let's do a Gangsta Grills," and you're like,
it's happened to me a couple times, and I just it got to make sense. You know what I
right.
mean? It got to make sense. But I've stepped out on a limb a couple times, and I've been I've been happy with the results for certain times, and
Right.
but yeah, I've had to curve and maneuver a couple situations.
Oh my gosh. Gangsta Grills, dedications. Speaking of dedication, will we ever get another one, you and Wayne, by any chance?
He'll probably want to do another one. I won't be surprised.
Cross our
Yeah.
fingers. Cross our
I feel
fingers.
like that series is everlasting. Like it's gonna go and go and go.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
We're definitely due.
It's about time. We did the last two. He did, what was that? Was it 7 or 6? 6 and 6.5.
Yeah,
About 2 years ago. Yeah. So it's about that time.
I think it's about that time as well.
So speaking of mixtapes, this
Uh-oh.
is a
Justo Mixtape Award.
yeah, coveted.
Yes.
Rest in peace to Justo.
Yes, rest in peace to Justo. What year did you win, Drum?
This is 2006. Yeah, I
Oh,
think 2006, 2007. It was right after Justo passed away.
yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah.
I
And
was
that
there. Was that the Apollo Theater, if I'm not
it
mistaken?
was.
That was
And
at the
then it got like
Apollo.
shut down a little early or something. It got a little hectic.
It got a little rowdy.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I was there.
I was there.
That was
Wow.
actually the last one.
Yep. That was
So
one
I
of the
never
last one that mattered.
Yeah, they never announced my award because they didn't get to it in time because it ended. And I won like three that night. I won, I think, mixtape series for Wayne and another one for me and Jeezy. But
Mm.
this one is special to me too because I'm the only DJ outside of New York City to ever win the best mixtape DJ award.
Oh wow.
Every other DJ was from the town, was from New York.
I remember.
So that shows the dominance of, you know, what I was doing and what the South was doing at the time. Like,
I remember because like K Slade was on fire. He was winning back
on
to
fire.
back. So you were the first one. Wow. And the mixtape awards, man. Did you always like getting into this? I know
Yeah.
mixtape DJs are kind of like the unsung heroes of this whole
Hmm.
thing. But you never got into it thinking or anticipating trophies or plaques or anything like that, did you?
Nah, man. I mean, my goal as a DJ was just trying to get my name on a flyer. And then, you know, I was always fascinated with mixtape DJs because I love new shit. Like I've always been addicted to new shit. So, you know, when Clue was dropping and Ron G was dropping in the early '90s, and they had all this exclusive Biggie and, you know, Mary remixes and
Yeah.
what have you. You know, I enjoyed coming to school and feeling like I was ahead of the curve.
Mm,
And then, you know, so I was just, you know, I was making mixtapes like I started in high school just kind of out of fun, you know. I put out 95 Live, and I was like, let me bite his style, and
yeah.
I made something called Illadelph, and you know, I went and got Black Thought and Bahamadia and people that
Mm,
I knew in Philly and did my own version. And then when I was in school, you know, when I came to college, it was like, you know, it was a hustle for me in a
yeah.
sense, like, and a way to get my name out there. And I never, you know, but I never, you know, never in a million years would I have thought I would, you know, be in this seat. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you remember what projects you put out in 2006? I'm pretty sure it was a lot.
Dedication 2 came out 2006.
Okay.
I think Yo Gotti, I Told You So, it came out. Maybe Jeezy, I'm the Street Dream. Um,
Dedication 2 was enough within itself.
yeah, yeah, it was a big one.
Word. Yeah, anything else
Uh,
you got, Jerome?
let's see. This is Hip Hop
Hip hop.
Award
What year was
DJ
that one?
Drama. This is 2013.
Okay, that was recent.
Yeah, 2013. Best. This is best. This is DJ of the year.
DJ of the year
Yeah, DJ of the year.
at the
So I
B.
think that was around the time when I had dropped my moment.
Okay.
Um, I put out Quality Street Music album, the first one, and you know I've been working.
I think you should have also gotten an award for artist storytelling for. Do you remember putting that record together?
Do I? Definitely. So that record, yeah, that record should have won a Grammy.
It should have.
So that record around when I was, so I guess maybe like '06, '07. Um, I got a call from Outkast and their manager at the time, Blue Williams,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, "Yo, we're about to do this movie, Idlewild, and we want to put out a mixtape before we do the movie. So we want to do a
Mm.
Gangsta Grills with you."
Oh wow.
And I was like, "Of course, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Outkast Gangsta
Hey,
Grills,
Outkast Gangsta Grills. Okay.
let's go." So we toyed around with the idea for a minute. Then I got a phone call from Dre from 3000. He was like, "Yo, listen, you know, because of time, we're not going to be able to do the mixtape, like, you know, because of the movie and the album. So we don't have time to do the mixtape. But how about we give you a song for your album?" And I
Mm.
was like, "What? Like, you fucking right." You know, and at the time, I had been working on my album and the buzz was out that, you know, Drama got a record deal. He's working on his album.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to send Dre, um, like literally every producer in the game I had beats from at the time. You know, everybody
Mm.
that was hot, and I was sending them I was sending it over and over and over, and I wasn't getting no feedback from them. You know, and I just
Mm.
kept sending, you know, all the big names. I sent them beats for, and
Wow.
I wasn't getting anything from it. So then, um, I had did me and Jim Jones had did the 7 Day Theory mixtape, right?
I remember that.
And there's a song on there. I don't even remember the name of the song, but there's a beat that's just so like hypnotizing, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Ken, I said, "Yo, can you make me something like that?" So he was like, "All right, cool, I got you." Then the raid happened. So it's about that time. This is early 2007.
Okay.
We got raided, and then I took that beat from Cannon, and I reached out. I reached out to Marsha Ambrosius. I was talking to her,
Mm.
you know, and I was feeling, you know, like like again, our backs is against the wall. They counted us out. So I just gave her idea like, yo, I just need you to like, say they can't stop us. Like we're
Mm,
gonna be here, and nothing's ever gonna be in our way. And
right.
she returned the hook to me like in a little bit of time, and I sent it to 3,000 literally in a day,
Mm,
and he sent it back the next day. Like
wow.
the next day, he sent it back, and I was like, "Yo, this shit is crazy! Like this shit is unreal. These 3,000 bars. Oh my God, I got 3,000 on a record." So I took it to Big. Big heard it. Uh, Big did his verse, and it was his choice to call it the Art of Storytelling Part Four. I was like, "What are we
Oh
gonna call
wow.
it?" And Big was like, "Man, let's call it the Art of Storytelling Part 4." So I so yeah, so that was a monumental moment for me to be a DJ and to have an Outkast record. Like it's just like, I still to this day that's on my bucket list. And the unfortunate part is so I was kind of new to having a record deal and how things were working in the industry. And so
Hmm.
the idea of doing a video came about,
Oh
and
wow.
3,000 told me a number, which is it's a high number, and at the time it's when he told me it, and well deserving because they did the record on the strength for me,
Mm,
and um Atlantic, kind of fronted, and truth be told, if I'd have been in a position I am now, or things would have been different, I'm like, yo, pay that man his money, man. Let's
right.
do this fucking video. Like, what? You don't want to get a video for this? This shit could win you a fucking Grammy. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, we never got to do a video for it, but it almost happened.
Oh man. That verse, sometimes I struggle between whose verse was better, but I love them both, man. Like that was such an incredible moment. Like, what did Cannon think when he heard the record?
He was blown away. He loved it. Yeah, I'm sure that's on his bucket list check off too.
My goodness, man, we gotta get that Outcast Gangsta Grills
That'd
popping.
be fire. Yeah, 3,000 is still we can still make that happen. Like 3,000, Black Thought, Eminem. Like I would love to do
Are
tapes
those
with.
are those
Like
like your bucket list ones?
definitely,
Oh my goodness.
definitely.
Someone just
Yeah.
asked, would you ever do a Latin Gangsta Grills or something like
Oh,
that for me?
oh, for sure, absolutely. That'd be fire, actually.
Mm, okay,
Uh,
we're gonna have to make that
who
write
would
that
they
list
want to
down.
ask them who they would want to see it with?
Who would
Like
you like to see
uh,
Gangsta Grills?
Latin and just in general.
Mm,
I can't see none of the comments, but
okay, I can't see
maybe
the
I'm
comments.
well. Nah, my shit's not moving.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah,
Damn. Oh
they're
well.
gonna tell me.
I'm sure they're gonna let me know or let us know
Yeah.
afterward. Someone, Rob from Genius said Bad Bunny.
There we go.
There we go.
I fuck with that, Rob.
And well, I don't know if I'm saying his name
I
right.
was gonna say I'm well too.
And well, right. Yeah.
Maybe Maluma or J Balvin.
J Bone.
One of the
Word.
new niggas.
That's what's
That
up.
that bunny
So,
makes sense.
so Eminem, Outkast,
Thought,
and who else you said?
Eminem, Outkast, Black Thought.
Black Thought,
And obviously still Jay and Drake. Like,
Jay
you
Drake.
can't go wrong with them two.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we can't look forward to that, man. And what other stuff can we look forward to in the down the line drama? I know we got Jake. I mean, Jay Howard. Excuse me, Jake Howard is popping, literally.
Are you talking about Jack Harlow?
Jack Harlow. Excuse me, Jack
I'm like,
Harlow.
who the fuck is Jay Howard?
Jack
It's
Harlow.
up.
We're popping.
Yeah.
And I know you say you want to develop more artists, so we have more people
Yeah.
coming down the generation
Yeah,
round pipeline.
actually, so Jack is working on his debut album right now.
Okay.
We have another artist that I'm really excited about signed named Steady Hendricks. He's
Okay.
he's from Jacksonville. So he has a project out right now called Black Hearted Demon. It's on all platforms, so you can check that out. Yeah, and Seti is just dope, man. He's melodic. He got bars, and I just love his music. You know what I'm saying? And we actually just signed someone new that we're gonna make an announcement, and if maybe this week or next week.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, so we're tapping into other genres outside of hip hop. So that's
How do you,
pretty exciting.
how you decide who you want to get in business with?
Most of the time through somebody bringing them to me,
Okay.
word of mouth, and then me going to check for it. Most of the time, people bring me stuff, and I put my ear to it or I check it out. I'm like, oh yeah, let's run it. And then, we kind of cultivate the relationship for a little bit of time and let them know what we bring to the table, what we can do, and see where they're trying to go, and if it makes sense for a good partnership,
Right.
we go for it. You know what I mean? So, we I feel like we offer a lot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We offer something instead of just going directly to a label. Somewhere where you can cultivate your sound and a space where you can be creative as well as be around other talents and other artists and as well as great cosigns from myself and Cannon.
Yeah.
You know
Speaking
what I
of Cannon,
mean?
what's up with Cannon, man? Every time I see Cannon, I get at him because I said him and Jeezy need to do a joint project together one day. Like, how's
Man, that
Cannon doing these days?
that he's good. He's been working out a lot. He's become a farmer. He got like a
Farmer.
he got a whole farm in his backyard. He's growing his own vegetables. He's always working on beats. He's been on a lot of frequent projects recently. I know he's on Herb's most recent project.
Can we get him on Jax?
Definitely gonna be on Jack's
Oh,
project.
nice.
And
Okay.
then that would actually be, I feel like that would be perfect for Jeezy, honestly, because I feel like that's what people want to see Jeezy on right now, like
Yes.
real mature rap, like Canon type beats, like what Go Crazy was and Regulate, like that
Circulate was
sound with
amazing.
Circulate, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, with those samples and you know what I mean, like yeah, a whole project, like just a 10 song from the two of them would be fire.
Yes.
Would be fire. I agree with you. Yeah, we're gonna stay on them about that.
I remember last time we came when you and him and the Uzi came on the Rap Radar podcast. I remember grilled him about that, and he
Hmm.
said we're gonna get to it. So every time I see him, I'm like, "Yo, what's up with it?" He's like, he's doing Canon shit." So
That podcast was so legendary, yo.
I know it was
It
so
was,
long ago, man.
it was like 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
That was like Uzi's first
Uzi's first
first
interview,
press run. Yeah.
definitely first press run, because I called Elliot about trying to get Uzi on, and he was like, "No, he's not. He's not there yet." He was like, "I put him on if you come with him." And
Yeah.
at the time we wasn't. I didn't really want to do a lot of interviews because it was still in the midst of the Drake
Yeah.
Meek saga, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to go talk about this shit."
Right.
So I did it for my little homie though. I said I put it all on the line. I was like, because we wanted to give Uzi a look, so I was like, man,
Yeah.
I just got to bite the bullet. You know what I mean? Come do the Rap Radar podcast, and you guys had kind of just started too, so it was
Yeah. We did.
yeah, that was a fun time though. You know what I mean? And kudos to y'all what you've been able to accomplish with that. I mean, it's amazing, and I'm tuned in each episode
Thank you, Drum, and of course we're gonna get you back on once this fuckery is over,
for sure.
and we're gonna do it again.
Absolutely, my brother. I
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Thank you for these gems, the history, your contributions to hip hop, and everything that you do, man. Salute,
Thank you, my brother. I
appreciate you.
appreciate it. Love.
Absolutely, anytime.
I B.Dot.
All right, peace. Another one in the record books. Shout out to DJ Drama, one of the greatest mixtape DJs of all time. Apologies for fucking up Jack Harlow's name. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Barack Obama for president. Shout out to New Face. Shout out to everyone tuned in. Appreciate you guys once again. There were so many gems in there. I don't know where to begin. Like from the Jeezy story to the Outkast story. Man, I took hella notes too. That's a goat right there. We're gonna see y'all next week. Adele, shout out to you. Shout out to New Face, like I said. Shout out to Queens, Marv. Everyone, thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe on YouTube. It's in my bio. Shout out to Hip Hop Junkie. My favorite genre mixtape, definitely a Trap or Die. I think it's Trap or Die. I think I'm gonna have to go with that one. And I'll tune into next week, man. Shout out to DJ Drama once again. Shout out to you. Subscribe, tell a friend, share, all the good stuff. We'll be back with the Rap Radar podcast really soon. Thank you for being patient with us. And I'll check you guys next week. All right?